say yes.
Hello, hi, and welcome to This Is Your Spotlight. I am your host, the lovely, effervescent, never duplicated, never replicated, Eurydice Roman. I know, I say a lot of fantastic adjectives about myself. I know. You'll like me eventually. So today I am here with someone who I've admired from afar because his visual work is always evolving. You'll never know what he comes up with, which is amazing. I'd like to present Marcus Williams, aka Marcus the Visual.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes.
I don't even know what's going on my mind. We're on the same page. I wake up.
No, but I gotta say, if you haven't checked out his work, check out Instagram. He is there. Look up Marcus the Visual. If you're into comics and into fictional character work, it is pretty amazing in terms of the way they look visually. They're great for posters. They're great for even comics themselves. For example, I like to point out in the background that he has he's one of his comic series called Tuskegee Airs.
Yeah.
And then the next one over, he has, it looks like Black Panther.
Panther and of course Coming to America. I say they should actually have a spinoff where, it's two fictional African countries.
Well, this is true. This is Zamunda and Wakanda.
It would work.
ZMW. It'd be interesting if it works.
I'd watch it.
This is true. Yes. So, out of all the work that you've done what was your starting point? Let's start with that. When did you start out?
So I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, but fast forward, I never really knew what I wanted to do in art except animation. I was not good. I was not talented, not gifted with the ability to draw. The first piece I did, I thought it was great. I was 3 years old, and I drew on this yellow plastic chair in my room with permanent marker. It was like a muscle man kind of thing with like little bubble arms. I was very proud of it. Mom was a little upset.
It was done on permanent marker.
Yeah, so. I was like, but look how good it is. It was fine. So that was my first official piece of graffiti. But fast forward, the things that I didn't know as a young artist, character art, Disney, Looney Tunes, Ninja Turtles, Sonic the Hedgehog, all of the things that were in front of video games, cartoons, movies, television, you name it. They were all character driven. And that is what, when I saw these things and I went back to my life, I'm at school, I'm at home, I would try to recreate characters and stuff. And that's what kept me drawing. Didn't matter what the genre was, but it was a video game, for instance. They all came with a little game manual back in the day. And to buy the game, you get the game. And there was art just all throughout that. I would take those to school and I'd try my best to draw what I saw. But I wasn't skilled enough as an artist to really render it the way I saw it. But I didn't care. I literally had no care about if it was good or not. But it kept me trying to draw. So I was reverse engineering what I saw. And so when people ask, are you self-taught? I don't like to say yes. I didn't have a teacher per se, but I didn't learn to draw in a vacuum, like just out of my head. I'm going to figure out how to draw. I was literally trying to reverse engineer what I saw to the best of my ability. So someone else's art inspired me to try to figure that out. And that's what kept me drawing. So, when I finally got to, graduating age, I made the choice was, because I was much better by, that age, 18, 17, 18, 19. I started working, doing odd jobs with car wash, shoe stores. I think I worked at a Kohl's back in the day. I worked at a movie theater. All of that stuff. While working at the movie theater, the woman that would go on to be my wife, we went to high school together, but she had a boyfriend in high school, so I didn't really date her. But I said, hey. And she comes up to the theater, the box office, as I'm working. And she's like, hey, okay, Marcus, good to see you. Are you still drawing? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm still drawing. I just working at the movie theater, money. She's like,
what movie theater were you working at?
it was a really crappy one by a mall in Georgia. It was really crappy. I'm not joking. But I liked it. It was small. It was rinky-dink. Anyway, it was charming. So she's like, oh, good. You should really meet my uncle. And I'm like, that's really weird to say to an adult. Man, why should I meet your uncle? And she's like, oh, he's the art director at Cartoon Network up in Atlanta. And I'm like, you know what? I get off at 3. Let's go meet your uncle. Let's do that. And I was not professional. I had a sketchbook and it had all my drawings in it. Mm-hmm. And we actually did. After I got off of work, called him and went to go and meet her uncle. And this was the first professional artist I'd ever met that looked like me. I've never seen a professional Black artist in the flesh. So, go to his house. He has all this cool art stuff everywhere. And he's like, let me see your work. I'm like, there you go. And he goes through it. He's like, I think I can get you some work. I'm like, okay. And so he's like, you know what Powerpuff Girls is?
No way. You worked on Powerpuff Girls?
I was like, I don't know what that is. What is that? And he puts in a VHS tape. And he's like, it shows me the introduction of the intro animation, to the Powerpuff Girl.
Right.
Triggers. Right. I'm like, oh, all right, wop-headed girls with no fingers. No problem. No, I've never heard of that, but okay, yeah, I could draw that. And he's like, okay, cool. We need some.
Wait.
Yeah.
We continue. Wait, you said big-headed girls, no fingers.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, cool. Great design.
I used to watch the Powerpuff Girls when they were,
I watched the show. I loved the show. I ended up being a great fan of the show. But they needed comic art. The show was doing well on television at the time. I think this was right around 2000. I think 99 or 2000. Mm-hmm. And so they were blowing up. I just never saw it. So he said they needed comic page. They needed to get the comic to one, and they couldn't find an artist to really match that art style from the show. And I'm like, I can draw whatever you tell me to draw, man. So he's like, give me some pencil tests, see if I can match styles on Dexter Lab, Johnny Bravo, Ed Nettie. And I do that. And he's like, sure. All right, you got the job. Take these 3 pages, and they're really rough. Like some other artists at the Cartoon Network did these rough comic page layouts. And he's like, I need you to clean this up and make it look like a TV show. So panels were already laid out. I just need to take it to finished pencil. And that was blue line pencil. So I didn't have anything else to do. And so I stayed up all night, finished them completely, turned them in the next day. And he's, oh man, you're back. Cool, here's your check. And I look at the check and it's for $3,000.
Not bad.
And I'm like, I'm 19, by the way. I'm like, please, sir, can I have some more? And he's like, oh yeah, man. Yeah. He's like, no problem. Here's 5 pages. I go do that, bring it back, cuts me a check for $5,000. And so on and so forth. 8 pages. That's the most money I've ever seen in my life. So that started my freelancing career, and no one else paid me like that for a while, that much anyway. But it started me on the path of just, all right, I'm an illustrator for hire. I like getting paid for my art. So that was the start, and it kind of opened me up as an illustrator to just, portraits, logos. Can you draw this? Sure, I can draw anything you tell me. So that's where I started.
That's pretty awesome, actually. Dang. That was part of my childhood. I liked the Powerpuff Girls and Johnny Bravo.
Right.
And even Samurai Jack. I was not a fan of Ed and Eddie because I was just like, dang, they're so ugly.
Yeah. I was about to say it's an eclectic style.
And also like the aesthetic, and also sometimes their scenarios are just so like, okay, I can relate to this. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It had a weird humor. I laughed at it.
Yeah. And then as Cartoon Network, shout out to them. They do not sponsor this show, by the way. Sorry.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Please send more work Marcus's way, just in case if he ever needed it. Just letting you know.
Shameless
plug.
We'll see.
Maybe Marcus might say yes.
You know, we got to be the right price.
Maybe a very hard maybe.
Yeah, got to fit right. You know, but yeah, no, it was a good time, and it definitely, I like it. It taught me that I did want to work for Cartoon Network at the time. They're very. I didn't know because I'd never worked in the industry that they don't take ideas from artists, especially not at entry level. I guess maybe higher up. I don't know, but I was like, you know what, this doesn't really work. You know, this it would be better if we actually. He's like, yeah, no, yeah, just do it the way we tell you to do it. I was like, oh. I mean, but it would really because they don't really do this in the cartoon. They don't have this expression, and I was like, this is still on model, still fits the style and aesthetic, but maybe he's like, no, like, oh, okay, cool. So it's like,
I noticed in the media in general, whether it's television, film, comic books, whether it's the radio, whether it's podcasting, there's sometimes when a formula works, it's very hard for people to just go like, you know what, if you add this and this, you might find a new audience. And sometimes when it's a very hard tug of war between you creatively and you, what gets you paid.
correct.
Yes or no?
Correct. Absolutely. And if, like I said, if you don't have a resume, you haven't been in the industry for a number of years, and you don't have awards or whatever, you know, you're a peon, and they're in charge. So it doesn't matter if it's better. Because I drew it and I was like, look, see, this would help me to do the. They're like, no, just do it how. Okay. And I'm like, so, but that was me across even my day job as a young teen, young adult, working at stores, working at places. If the person that was my boss, you know, didn't listen to something that I'm like, literally, I do this every day. There's a better way to do it that saves time. How about this? If they look at a solution coming from someone that does something 24/7, right? And say no to a solution that would help maximize my potential or my time or whatever. I'm like, all right, I can't work, man. This is it's kind of sucks here. I'm giving you the stuff, you know. This is but no, for art, I understand why they said no, but it still kind of pushed me away creatively. Like, I want to work somewhere where I can be, you know, creative still. I'm not a machine artist. I don't like that environment. So, yeah.
Okay. So, so doing all that work that you were doing for like the Powerpuff Girls, and then also others, you know, turning them from cartoons on TV to comic, you've in between started to think about being a freelancer, no?
Yeah, it's after Cartoon Network, it was a temporary position. They just needed to get their comic pages caught up. Internally, they had all of their artists kind of working on everything else. So I was just temp, but I did it for like 3 months. It was a lot of money, great. But it was just a temporary position. He asked if I wanted to go full time. I was like, nah, not really. Not yet, is what I told him. And so I started just getting freelance, finding other, you know, customers and clients and so forth. Just word of mouth mostly. I didn't have any website or anything. That I was passing out cards.
Okay.
So, yeah, met a lot of people. A lot of people in New York. Got to talk. Yeah,
So any current collaborations that you're like really pushing to the forefront or that you're working on at the moment?
I didn't ask. They haven't. I can't say that. But yes, there's. So I worked with Sony Picture Animation Studios last year. There's a new cartoon that's coming out. They actually did release this. So there was a short film not too many years ago called Hair Love, and it was about a dad trying to wrangle in his daughter's hair. And it was a short film.
Oh yes, I remember. It won the Oscar.
Yeah, they won some awards, yeah. And so yeah, Sony is going to make an actual animated series out of it called Young Love. So I got to be character designer for that. Uh, that show was really cool. Lead character design on it. I've never started a cartoon from the beginning. Designed all of it. That was pretty cool. They had the first 5 here already designed, but it was just one kind of illustration. They needed, everything designed for. So it was really cool. I worked with some amazing people and executive producers and things like that. That one other artist was fantastic. So that was a really cool experience. I'd never done it. So I worked with Sony, worked with Brothers 4, and other comic stuff. But doing something currently that I'm actually really excited because it came out of something. I do fan fiction with my art. I like to say, well, I'm a character. So what I didn't mention is in my young artistic life, I learned that I was a character designer. Because another professional artist, like looking at the portfolio, was like, oh man, so how long you been doing character design? And I never heard that term. I was like, well, I mean, I'm an illustrator. He's like, yeah, but you're a character designer. Like your portfolio is all characters. Like, oh, yeah. Okay. I guess as many as long as I can remember. I didn't know what a character. I didn't know that was a job. So he kind of put that in my brain. I am a character designer, and that's what really jazzed me up. That goes back to when I was a kid. It was all character driven. So I kept trying to draw characters. So now that I understand that is where a lot of my, interests start. So fan fictions for me is like I want to take the Avatar: The Last Airbender and say, well, what if the next chapter after Korra was this African-like continent, and the next Avatar is this brand new environment where Abioye and Earthbender and then gold, precious metals, and I started like just coming up with characters for that new series that doesn't exist except for in my mind. And I post things like that, but I'm writing the backstory for the character as I post it. Right. And that's the kind of thing where, as I post these things, that's where other people are like, yo, do that for my series. And you design my character. So that's where a lot of my clients that I get are from social media. Because I'll post a version of, you said you like Wonder Woman. A really good friend of mine, after the first Wonder Woman movie came out, he's like, can you do a piece with Wonder Woman and her sister Nubia? I was like, it's a great idea. Sure. And I don't want to.
I love that one, by the way.
I was about to say that's like my most favorite. That's my most pirated piece of art.
He says pirated piece of.
It really is. Like there's a company overseas that has it, and they took the background off and they put like other stuff and text around it, and literally sell it. And
we're going to share with the audience what Marcus is talking about.
Yeah.
Hold on. So.
But she doesn't look like this in the comic. Well, she didn't look like this in the comic.
This is
if you scroll down.
Yes. So here for his, this is the one that he was talking about.
Yeah.
So
no, don't go there.
Yeah, when you go to.
I don't actually know where that's going to go. I don't know where that button's going to.
Basically, it's these two pretty much. It says browse through your art. Don't be.
My bad.
I love it. I really do. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
if you scroll down on
that one.
Yeah, you'll see there's an actual movie section. As you scroll down.
Hold on. So this is one of them here.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, that was the one that caught my attention.
Yeah.
All right. So then you have this one here. Star and Citizen fan art.
Yeah.
Oh, then you have, of course, Miles Morales.
See, and that's me doing my take. I'm like, I want to see him in a different suit, but I want it to be something that I've never seen before. And so I'm a character designer. So I take stuff that excites me, and then I say, well, let me put my spin on it, and I'll write stories along with it. But yeah, that's what happened a lot of times. So when I started doing that, posting that online, supernatural character that I did.
Right. And then, of course, you always do this, which I think is genius. Your Swaptober annual character art challenge. So October, for those of you who don't know, is basically an art challenge event for 30 days. Character art challenge created by Marcus Williams. It runs from October 1st to October 30th. Shameless plug. The character is centered around the internet meme Rule 63, which states, as a rule, every female character, there is a male version of that character, and vice versa.
Yes.
So this will lead you definitely to, this is what it is.
There's so many of them. I have to literally go in and
So
upload.
there was Spike from, I'm trying to remember where Spike is from.
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop. Then you have Jet Black.
Mm-hmm. Also Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop. And then you have Faye Valentine, who's next. Yeah. And then for 2020, oh wow, he had Lovecraft Country, which is definitely, oh my God, I have his name, Jonathan Majors' character, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And instead of the Fresh Prince, it's the Fresh Princess, but it's still the Fresh Prince.
You know what? People do that, and they're like, "You mean Fresh Princess?" I was like, "No, I mean Fresh Prince." So people know who I'm talking about. You can call her Fresh Princess, but I literally have to put the name of the character as is, and then people keep trying to change it in the comments. I'm like, "Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. Yes, technically, that is Fresh Princess now."
But I crack up because she looks like Gina.
She does, yeah.
She looks like Gina on that angle from Martin.
It does.
Which is the next one over.
Right.
And then the character of Martin looks. I'm sorry, it's really freaking funny because he just looks like somebody in your neighborhood that just be on some like, get out the way. Should be on aggressive. And you're like, okay, all right, bring it down a notch.
Right.
Ain't nobody that angry.
There's character design. Like, I don't want to just do an exact one-to-one swap like Martin, but it's like I have to design that character to feel as though that was always the case. You know, there was always a Will Smith that looked like this, so her hair is coming out of her hat. You know, she's a girl, but she Will Smith, Fresh Prince. But that's the cool part about it. So it's still character design.
Yes. Oh, and Meteor Man. Oh my God, that reminds me of freaking Robert Townsend.
Yeah, man. Good time.
I know. Yes. That's how dated I am.
No, come on, man. That's a good time. That's why I'm from that era.
And then Mr. T, which is pretty cool. I love the whole thing. It was a great swap.
Appreciate it.
Batwoman, cool. Yeah. And the colors are amazing. I love how there's an explosion going on in the back. And it's like, nah, it's okay. Stuff is exploding. I may or may have not caused that explosion.
Right.
For me to tell you.
As long as you're cool while it's happening.
Exactly. As long as you're not in the way. Right. You're not a casualty. We will be okay. Right. Of course, Blankman. That's the Damon Wayans character. If you've never seen Blankman,
that means you're young. That's all. If you haven't seen it, it's okay. There's still time. Go Google it. Find it. Watch it.
Yeah, find it. Watch it. Then there's Sister Night.
Yes.
Which is cool. I like the fact that the rosary, the way it was designed around her, looks like you just want to like grab it and just like, I'm going to start praying right now.
Yeah, this has been going on since 2015. Is when I started October. Now, problem is
this one's great. Dwayne, Wayne, and Whitley, love it. Love it.
And I don't plan this ahead of time. That's actually a part of a challenge for me. Like I have to wake up every day and say, what would be a good swap? And it doesn't have to be any specific genre or medium. I go video games, I go movies, television, whatever I want.
So this is a Steve Loves Laura, which is, if that were, I know a lot of guys growing up wish that this was kind of the case, especially, to help out the community.
Well, I don't know if anybody would be excited to have like Steve Urkel female version. That would be fair, Doc.
No,
That's
I mean that
personality.
you had somebody that actually liked you for who you were.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. In the I guess that's 22 and that show. If someone that's really obnoxious, like, and it's super inconsistent and like completely immune to like saying, I don't like you, that's okay. I'll wear you down one day. That right there is like, oh my God, stop. Just
No,
go away.
that's just called a stalker. I'm
That's
sorry.
what I'm saying. And it was very
That's
Pepe
not
Le
endearing.
Pew.
That's just downright frightening.
Right. And if you watch Pepe Le Pew, the skunk from Looney Tunes,
Oh yes,
it's
yes.
like that. It's like, oh my God, he's a freak. What was wrong? Why did they write this character?
No, but that was funny when I heard some backlash about Pepe Le Pew. I was just like,
It's pretty
oh
bad.
my God, what is the world coming to?
I
Yeah, the
remember being
backlash
entertained as
was
a kid, and I was just like, I looked at it recently. I was like, oh my goodness, why was I okay with this as a child? I didn't even realize it. It was terrible.
no, yeah, yeah. No, so that's like kind of the backlash. For me, it was just like, okay. I said, okay, what were we? I guess we were that bored, busy, or something in between that this is what we're like tearing apart. And there are things that culturally have come to pass in
Yeah.
terms of that we've kind of elevated and left there.
Yes.
And we shouldn't have.
Like Goonies. I try to show my kids Goonies the movie. Okay, because I'm like, oh, I got y'all didn't see Goonies yet. I didn't realize there was that much person in Goonies. I was like, but my kids were younger. I was like, don't tell your mom about that one. You know what? Don't tell your mom that you saw it. It's good. Everything else is good. But yeah, at the time they were like, I think, second grade. And I was like, oh, you guys are gonna love this movie. They got cussing all through that movie. I was like, I don't remember censorship. Hold on. But
Exactly.
we didn't
Oh,
have
of
that. You know
course, New York Undercover. Oh man, that was a great show.
what I'm saying?
I know people love to want to be on that show, especially there was a guy that I went to in college who was an extra on that show at least a good 4 or 5 times.
Nice. Nice.
And that kind of pushed him to want to go to college and study television production. I was
Get
like,
out of here. Cool. See, now that's a tough one for a lot of people. I don't know. Either you got to see Mantis as a show or you didn't. But
I did not. So
it's okay. He was a crippled black superhero. There was a show made about this guy, and he got this suit that somehow, gave him the ability to walk and give him like super strength. It was great. It was also terrible, but it's great. It was great at the time.
Oh, nice. Dr. Manhattan. Yeah. That is really cool.
Oh, yeah, I have to make an art book that collects all of this, and it's gonna be like stupidly thick.
Yeah. So
This is well over
for any Watchmen fans out there, this is Dr. Manhattan as part of the Swaptober challenge. That is really cool. I like how the clothes look like, regular scrubs that you would see on someone at a
That's from
hospital.
the show. That's from the show when he was in
No,
the
but I mean
house.
the look itself. I like the
Oh,
fact that
yeah.
it looks like it could be something from every day. But I'm sure on the show itself, that's what it is. But I like the look to it.
Cool.
If there was a powerful person like that walking around, we wouldn't have a lot of people walking around.
No, that guy's character's
No. I saw the first Watchmen when they had Billy Crudup be
okay.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
A lot of people have problems with it because I guess they took a few liberties with the material.
Oh yeah.
Which Hollywood is infamous for. Sometimes there's certain things that work in a comic book but don't work to actually try to shoot the darn scene. I'm going to be honest with you because it's the same thing with podcasting. There's a lot of stuff you can say on a podcast that you really can't say in real life.
No,
because God forbid you say that, on TV and it's like, okay, we're going to cancel you.
Yeah.
They're like, okay. I was just getting started, but thank you. I was just a little cosmic speck, just trying to make my dots a little bigger. That's all I was trying to do. Nothing else.
Right.
All right. So okay, now I want to talk about this one here.
Uh-huh.
For those of
This,
you at home, this is what he's talking about.
yeah, you see where
So,
it says backstory? This was like maybe weeks after I posted this original. I had to come back because he didn't have a, he didn't have an update. He didn't have a backstory. There was no story.
oh wow.
Because I posted this, people was like,
Mhm.
yo, where's the rest of them? I was like, oh, okay. They're like, what happened? Why is he old? What is their life like? They was asking all these questions in the comments. But 14,000 people, literally, it was like, yo, it's amazing. Where's the rest of them? I was like, I didn't really plan on that, but no problem. So the next one was Leo. The next post was Leo. And I had a backstory for Leo. Like as soon as I posted it, I wrote, hey, here's what happened to Leo. Here's what, his life is like, you know, and so on and so forth. I kept posting,
So Raphael, Leonardo.
Michelangelo.
Oh, there you go.
But it literally, I gotta like that. I didn't see that. But yeah, from there, I was already well into like, I think I got to maybe April O'Neil,
and you have Static Shock.
That Shock is a little bit older. Yeah, wanted to be like in early 20s.
Which I think is very interesting to even want to talk. Oh, Donatello. Oh wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so the stories they started getting thicker and thicker. So it's like it went from like a paragraph to like 5 paragraphs. And I'm telling the story, but it wasn't fun. But as I started going in, the stories are easy. All of it starts with character. I have no book, I have no script. It's just as I draw the character, I'm like, oh, easy. The stories are up here as I'm designing the character. So that's where a lot of my work goes like that. But I didn't know it was going to be. I didn't know people were going to, like it or care about it. I just did that first. Yeah, I did that first, and it was just to say, rest in peace, DMX. And then,
and last but not least, the fan favorites.
I know
Michelangelo.
It's weird when you actually get fans of the Turtles. They already have their thing. Like, yo, no, I gotta go with Leo. No, I gotta go with Donnie. Where's Donnie? And there's a fan to every turtle. And they're like, nah, I gotta go with this one. Now I have to do a group chat. I don't have a group chat with them all in it. And people are like, well, I want to just buy one of them. Nah, I buy all 4 of them. All 4. Get them all.
That's right. If you're a true Ninja Turtles fan, you will have it.
Right. But it's been great. That's the thing now, so I get to practice my writing, and I get to practice my character design.
Correct.
But it kind of feeds both parts of my creativity.
This is true. This one I found interesting that you did here.
Yeah.
Yes, this is an interesting cover.
Yeah.
So what was this one specifically based on?
This is a comic. A great good friend. He's a comic store owner here in Atlanta, and he publishes his own comic book called Fox Chronicle. And he's like, Marcus, I've gotten art from everybody else. Can you do a cover for me? I'm like, absolutely, because he sells the crap. He pushes our comic to here. He keeps our comic in store, but he sells phenomenally well. He sells our book, and he's always out of stock. Always out of stock because he sells it through. So I'm always supporting.
So everybody and anybody, so please look up Marcus the Visual.
Yeah.
If you ever need inspo for anything in terms, and you need some visual, like not eye candy, but if you need sometimes to know that, dang, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Because sometimes you could get inspiration from characters. You'd be surprised. So, one more thing. What would you potentially like to do a little further on?
Yeah. So I'm an 80 baby, 81 is my birthday year. So I've been
82 over here.
Word.
82.
That's what's up. No, that's good. Good. So I was there when video game came. I'm video game. I did some college where I changed my major from graphic design to game art and design. I would have finished that out, but I got a full-time job as an artist during college. It didn't make sense for me to finish. So, but I was having a great time. I had an A, I had a great GPA, game art and design. I want to actually create experience, video games, and different levels of deeper experience and interactivity with my creativity. Because I think it's a weird thing being a part of digital revolution. Video games as they started out 8-bit, Mario jumping around, to now you have the almost photorealistic worlds that are
Yeah. Oh
just
man.
it's status quo. AAA game, Cyberpunk 2077, you name it, all of it's amazing. And I'm playing as, same kid from the 80s. And I'm like, I've been waiting for this my whole life. I'm like, oh, this is cool. But then I get frustrated. Like, why wouldn't you make just the small thing to me? Like that immersion is broken now because someone didn't care enough. This little, and I'm like, I want to craft my own video game. I want to do animation. The Skiki Airs will be animated. We're working on animation now. We're actually we're doing 3D animation for it. Got a grant from Epic Games, so gonna make a little short thing. But animation is actually in there. But it excites me to say I can craft a world, and then try and really bring someone into that world and say, what do I want to bring to the world? What kind of experience can I craft? I think that's exciting. It's like you're playing a little bit of like the god of your own, universe, right? And it's like I don't like boundaries, so I want to make something fresh and new. And yeah, that's what's really exciting. Um, I gotta invent some stuff, you know.
You
That
will
takes a
and
little
you
bit.
can.
Yeah,
As long as we're alive and ticking, you
yeah,
can and you will, and
yeah,
that's gonna be your pride and joy. And
yeah,
aside from your children, that's gonna be what you're gonna leave behind.
yeah, yeah. They're both artists. So I have full faith that they will eventually outskill me. I'm looking forward to that. Like, yo, you're better than I am. Sweet. Um, but yeah, it's as long as I'm creative. I want to be creative until I decide to stop, which is hopefully for a long time. But that's where my future leads. As long as I'm being creative when I wake up, I'm good. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. Movies, you know. Hopefully I can join the film festival
Yes.
in New York.
Hopefully we'll see each other in those paths. But
Right.
thank you so much for your time. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for this interview and for the work that you do.
Thank
There
you.
will be a nice little condensed version of this interview.
Right. Get it.
It's going to be available on the Roman Epics page, YouTube.